Yo, what's good? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm going to hit y'all with a review of the new DMX album entitled Exodus. Let's get to it. Alright, so this is the 8th studio album from the legendary late great DMX. It is his first Def Jam album since his 2012 Undisputed project. DMX had become inspired to record this album immediately after his epic versus battle with Snoop Dogg in 2020. Now, this is technically considered a posthumous album, but it was allegedly complete before his untimely passing. In a 2020 interview, DMX has stated that this project was going to have way more features than any of his prior work, and on here we get just that. From the track list, it looks more like a compilation than most solo albums. So this project Exodus contains 13 tracks, 2 of them being skits lasting a total of approximately 39 minutes. It is produced entirely by Swiss Beats, but with that being said, let me go ahead and jump right into a track by track breakdown. The opener, That's My Dog, sets this off in a true DMX and Rough Riders fashion instrumentally. It is a callback to the late 90s and early 2000s Swizz production sound, but it's atmospheric enough to give it a modern feel as well. There's also a looped chant of DMX screaming, "What?" in the background. This, of course, features the Locks. Jadakiss opens this up, and I'm not gonna front, I feel this was one of his least quote-worthy or memorable verses in a while. Thankfully, however, Sheik and Styles P do their thing. I feel Sheik's verse was the best though out of all three, which shouldn't really come as a surprise considering he really carried their 2020 album. Sheik raps, "Hey yo, we ain't cool like that, homie. We barely even talk. Every rapper ain't close cause they coming out of New York. I ain't get a call from you when my mom was in the morgue or when a brother needed money, so how the fuck is you my dog?" While Styles P said, "Come from a town where dudes fly out the window. Either they get thrown out or the dust did it. Nah, the knife didn't kill him, but the rust did it." So you know Styles P was speaking on that era where people would jump out the roof after smoking some dust. Also, the line about the knife made me think of Styles P's past rhymes and incidents involving a knife. In one line back in the day, he said, "Matter of fact, I prefer the knife. Cause I'm physical, I get up in your chest and show you how to murder right." Altogether, I thought this was a hard and effective way to start out the album. Track 2, Bath Salts, was originally recorded back in 2012, and it's pretty evident from the sound of the production. This Jay-Z verse is old and not good. And that shouldn't be an excuse as to when it was recorded, because this is pretty bad by Jay-Z standards. I'd even go as far as saying this is the worst Jay-Z verse I've heard in years. Thankfully though, Nas saved the track from being a complete wash as his flow was very intact. My instincts guided me through this Curtis Blow culture. Also, let's put success to the side. I'd still be fly if I worked at Popeyes. That's a whole lot of spinach, whole game full of gimmicks. Make a fool out yourself for a post on academics. We are not the same. I'm an alien hovering over your city, shutting down stadiums, wiping out everything on my radius. Nas was definitely snapping, letting everyone know that he's staying true to himself and not into clout chasing like the rest of the new generation. So I strongly disliked the J verse, loved the Nas verse, and thought the X one was okay. Track 3, Dogs Out, features a verse from Wayne and a hook from Swizz. I feel this one had potential as the Swizz Beats and A-Rap music instrumental was fire. However, I couldn't get into the hook because the "Who let the dogs out" refrain from Swizz was cliche and not good. Even though I haven't liked a Lil Wayne verse in years, he didn't do a bad job here, but I can't say that I love this verse. Yeah, overall, this one could have been better, in my opinion. Right after, we get Money, Money, Money featuring Moneybagg. So initially, this record was supposed to feature Pop Smoke, but they had to put Moneybagg Yo on it due to label issues. The alleged word is that DMX intended for this song to have a younger and more current vibe. So I didn't have a problem, with Moneybagg Yo replacing Pop Smoke, not only because I actually listened to Moneybagg, but Swizz Beatz said that DMX actually liked his music. This has an up-tempo and spooky instrumental. There's a circus-like energy to the loop, but it's a little psychedelic as well. I feel Moneybagg has a solid verse, and DMX does come through with that frantic delivery he is known for. Lyric-wise, however, it's not DMX's best, but it does succeed in giving off that high energy flavor. What follows is the more thoughtful record, Hold Me Down, featuring Alicia Keys. This one finds DMX speaking on faith. It has a gospel meets electronic Swiss beats production sound. I actually like DMX's verses here. He doesn't sound as tired, and he even says a few noteworthy things, one being, I'm pulled in opposite directions. My life's in conflict. That's why I spit words that depict the convict. And I think those very lines accurately sum up the DMX dichotomy. Altogether, I feel this was a dope introspective song. The subsequent track, Skyscrapers, is easily my least favorite song on the album. I didn't care for the early 2010s dated production sound. I don't think the upbeat instrumental matched DMX's lyrical content either. Also, Bono is an artist who I don't really look forward to hearing on a hip-hop album. I know he is a legend and all, but his kind of blockbuster feature isn't really my cup of tea. That's just me. Perhaps some people will love this song, but I personally do not plan to revisit it. This is followed up by the Stick Up skit, which I believe was added to evoke that old Rough Riders era nostalgia. Next is the highlight, Hood Blues, which features all three Griselda members. They are going in over this slowed down version of the classic Lee Mason Shady Blues sample. Now, this particular loop has been sampled by many rappers over the years. Some notable ones include Pace One, Sean Price, and G-Unit. Westside Gunn sets this off with what might be his most focused and coherent verse in recent memory. I actually think he killed it. Benny raps, I gave my life to the game, but what do I got? Father these dudes how? I don't even know my pops. This flip phone that I got don't connect to the Wi-Fi. But it is Conway the Machine who I feel steals the show. We was in the trenches for chicken wings and rice. The shooter 14 can't read or write, but he gonna squeeze his pipe. We was trying to sell a key at night, cause Nas said a G at night wasn't good enough, and he was right. Yo, that Nas reference from the Street Dreams remix is fire. I really liked how Conway singled that out to rhyme about. Now, as dope as this song is, I'd be lying if I told y'all that I liked DMX's portion, and the reason being his vocals were poorly mixed and it sounded like he was rapping off beat and his voice was hoarser than usual. What comes next is Take Control featuring Snoop. They spit some pimp-like bars on top of this very smooth Marvin Gaye Sexual Healing sample. For some reason, this was giving me the vibes from the Nas and Snoop track Play on Playa from Nas's Hip Hop Is Dead album. Those two rapped on a Marvin Gaye sample then. But I feel this collaboration makes a lot of sense and was necessary following the electrifying versus battle. DMX shows us that he's not a sucker for love, especially with lines like, because he's not me, you know I would never be that dude that's home watching the kids while my wife was in them streets sucking another dude's dick. The track Walking in the Rain is another spiritual and introspective record. It is set to a pensive and rainy day instrumental. I like the soulful hook from Denon. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but these are the kinds of reflective records where DMX tends to shine the brightest on. I also think the Nas verse is dope. He raps, we in the new dark ages, we reject who we really are, adaptation, accept no cheap imitations, I am the streets meets civilization, police precinct, 114 chased them, who should be held accountable for the hell I encountered, just exploring the town I knew. In my opinion, people are really sleeping on these two Nas verses. This is followed up by the Exodus skit, which contains some words from DMX's son. This transitions appropriately into Letter to My Son, Call Your Father. It's a heartfelt letter to his son, set to a dreary piano and weeping violin. This record was giving me some Exhibit the Foundation vibes, considering that was also a poignant letter that he wrote to his son back in 1996. DMX states, damn son, I look into your eyes, I see my own. You look into my eyes, you see my throne. Also, I don't know what you thought about my use of drugs, but it taught you enough not to use them drugs. I mean, it's the real deal, because people who see someone they love struggle with hard drugs, they're probably less likely to use those drugs. The album then ends in a typical DMX-like fashion with the spoken word prayer. There is a very faint instrumental that was allegedly produced by Kanye, but it's a very fitting way to wrap up the album. Overall, I give this project a rating of a strong 3 mics. Now, I have heard a lot of mixed reviews about this album. Some think it's a masterpiece, while others are declaring it straight trash. I'm actually somewhere in the middle of both opinions, and I say that because I feel there are some great moments on here, but as a whole, it falls short of being a great album in my eyes. There are enough issues that I have with some songs that brought my rating down somewhat. That being said, I still think it's a decent enough send-off for DMX. You know, at times DMX sounded a bit wearisome vocally. He was outshined quite often by his guests, and that's not something that's easy to say, but it is accurate, respectfully. I think for the most part, the guest appearances were solid. The ones that I liked the most were Nas, Sheik, Styles P, Alicia Keys, Griselda, and Snoop. The ones that I didn't care for at all were Jay-Z and Bono. At the end of the day, despite some of the issues that I have, I still feel this album is good, worth checking out, and that it should likely please most hardcore DMX fans. R.I.P. Darkman X. My favorite tracks include That's My Dog, Hold Me Down, Hood Blues, Take Control, and Walking in the Rain. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section below. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. DMX Exodus 1.